Get in loser, we're going planning. And today we are planning the downfall, the ruin, the takedown, the total destruction of Regina George. And we're doing it in Notion. This is what we're making today. It's cute, right? She cute? I spent way too long on this template, so I really hope you like it. Remember friends, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. All right, so to plan Regina's ruin, oh wait, something's missing. One sec.
You guys like pink too, huh?
Okay, that's better. I don't think I've ever worn this color before. To plan Regina's ruin, we're working through a simplified version of my project planning framework because sneaky, I'm actually trying to teach you how to project plan as a freelance digital business manager and how to do it in Notion. I know, so sneaky, hiding education and a tool tutorial behind something as enticing as a mega Mean Girls reference. Okay, let's begin. So let's pull open a fresh little Notion. Looking at a fresh Notion is so overwhelming, like it's such a blank page syndrome. Let's just type in our little title first. Let's plan the ruin of Regina George. Call it the demise of Regina George, the destruction. I think ruin is good. Gotta add a cute little cover because what are we doing unless we add a cute little cover? This is an iconic picture. We have to include it. So project planning is about creating actionable steps from where we are now to where we want to be, aka our goals. So first things first, we need our big goals to remind us of what we're even trying to do here with the ruin of Regina George. So as the incredible Janice Ian says, Regina George is an evil dictator. How do you take down a dictator? Cut off their resources. So to cut off Regina's resources, we have 3 goals. Get rid of Regina's hot boyfriend, get rid of Regina's hot bod, and get rid of Regina's army. So first things first in this project plan, let's get our goals up here. I'm going to do a gallery view and create a new database. And then I'm going to set those 3 goals that we talked about up. All right, goals done. Now I'm going to add a few other pertinent pieces of information to this project. Gotta have some girl world rules that we cannot forget. I have tons of notes over here, so if you see me looking down, that's why. I also, just for lulz, as you saw, added a few more pertinent project info into the project plan. I added some key reminders that we don't forget, some rules we need to obey to assimilate in Girl World, as well as info on our targets, the plastics, and of course the greatest people you'll ever meet, the project team itself. Here they are, and here are their roles in this project. Okay, cool. So now we have our pertinent project info, we have our goals to steer us, but now you see these goals are too big on their own. We wouldn't even know where to start with these, and that's why we need a detailed project plan, which is really why we're here. So yeah, let's break everything down into teeny tiny specific steps so it's actually achievable, actually realistic for us to destroy Regina George. Let's project plan. So I'm going to insert a table right here, and it's going to be a new database. And I'm gonna think about which columns I want for my project plan beyond the basics. So we'll just call this master to-do list. I just think we have to add tons of emojis into this. Like, I don't think it would be Mean Girls if we didn't, you know? We'll definitely want tasks here. We definitely want to think about what phase of the project we're in. This will be important for later. We will want to make sure each task has an owner. And actually what we're gonna do, this is already our first fancy little trick, we're actually gonna make a relation to the project team database that I have right here. And from there, we're gonna be able to pick who on the project team we want to assign things to. By the way, this is just, if you love Mean Girls as much as I do, then this is just the best thing ever. The limit does not exist. So from there, you can see that we can then select who is in charge of which task. So that's the nice thing about relating things to each other. And then also from here, it can back relate to the tasks. So if you are Janice Ian, you could go to the project team and see all the associated tasks that are assigned to you from there. So that's the awesome thing about connecting one database in Notion to another database, is you can then associate things with each other. Okay, so now we have the owner. Every task is going to have an owner. We will probably want status, because we want to make sure we know where the status of our project plan is, what is finished, what is not. I'm just gonna edit these properties. This is just like a super minor thing that bothers me, is that this is not capitalized and you're really seeing how beyond normal this is. We probably want some notes for any details we want to include for each task. And then we can also hook it up to our goals up here, project and goals. And then we can associate all tasks that have to do with a specific goal to the goal. And then under goals, we can see all the tasks that we're working on to get to that goal. So I'll show you what that looks like in a second. We might want to add some dates, but I'll leave that. In a normal project plan, you definitely need to have dates, always. If there's no due date, it's not getting done. That's my principle. But in this one, since we're doing it based off of a movie where I don't really know the dates, I'm gonna guess them based on certain events that happen in the movie, but we'll do that at the end. All right, so now we have our loose project plan structure set up. So step one of my project planning framework, and something I always do in the first step of any project plan, is I brain dump absolutely all tasks I can think of into the to-do list itself. And really there's no right or wrong answers or tasks during a brain dump. It accepts everything and anything. There doesn't even need to be an order or priority list to the task during a brain dump. We don't organize at all. We just dump everything out. This is really important. We just want to get everything into this task list. And during the brain dump phase, you may reference things you know off the top of your head about a certain project and what you know needs to get done, your own knowledge, like expert knowledge on that specific topic. But you will also have to do some research. You may check in with team members, ask them questions about their phase of the project. You may go through previous project assets, or do like me and read the 120-page script of a movie and watch the movie and take notes to get clarity on what exactly we need to do to ensure this project goes off without missing anything. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to brain dump everything. I'm going to refer to my notes and brain dump everything that I know happens during this project. Okay, let's go. Okay, so based on my knowledge bank and my extensive research and notes that I took, now we have a mega list of tasks. This is a good brain dump. This is really what the brain dump should look like. It's not organized. It's fine if there isn't a ton of detail. That will come in later steps. So now step 2, we are going to organize things. We're going to sort them into broad project phases to show some sort of timeline to the project, as well as what needs to happen first and second, aka what tasks are dependent on something else happening first. So phases that I came up with for this, that I think make sense just as I was doing the brain dump, are, first thing, phase 1, we have to befriend the plastics. Otherwise, they're just not going to trust us, right? We have to get them to trust us first. Then phase 2 is take down Regina George. Then I guess with Regina gone, it only makes sense for phase 3 to become Queen Bee. Maybe? Probably? And because I felt bad for ending the project plan on Katie's rock bottom, I decided also to create a phase 4 redemption for her, because I just think it's sad to end it on when everything is horrible. Okay, so these are our phases. So now let's organize the tasks in order of what happens first and second, what has to happen first and second, as well as into these 4 phases. So honestly, I'm making this video for 2 reasons. One, I want to teach you about project planning because I love it. It's my jam. It's what I do as a freelance digital business manager. I get paid to plan things, and I don't think people realize how fun it can be. And 2, Mean Girls is my OG chick flick movie. For this video, I got to watch the movie during my business hours for work. And more excitingly, I got to read the script, which I've never done before. It was glorious. There's so many differences between the script and what actually happens. Okay, now everything is sorted. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We can even make a kanban view, which is essentially a board view that shows us based on phases what needs to happen. You can also, if you prefer, sort your kanban board. This is a kanban board where there are like different columns to everything. You can sort it by status instead to see what is finished and what isn't, like this. So nothing is finished, everything still needs to get done, and as you finish it, you can just drag it into in progress if you'd like. But for this, I think it makes more sense just for us to see it for now by phase instead of status. All right, now step 3 is getting detailed. So looking at this project plan, I always ask myself then, what is unclear? Our job as the project planner is to be hyper clear. So we eliminate as much back and forth questions, comments, people being confused, tasks being vague as possible. We want our team members to have 100% of the information they need to take the tasks and get it done well. So they need to know what we mean and have all the assets ready to go. So I normally then go through and add more specifics into the task titles. So here, if anything is unclear, like find pink clothes, is that clear? Do we know what that task means? Or go to Regina's after school, we can probably clarify a few things. So I go through and I add more specifics as well as into the notes of each task in case there's any useful information that would be good to have here. So let's add those. So sit with the plastics at lunch. Notes here are, there are actually a bunch of rules. We can't forget them, which is why I put them on the left-hand side bar as well. I'm just gonna make this bigger. All right, find pink clothes, Damien mentioned, might have something. Go to Regina's after school. There are no rules in her house. She's got a cool mom, not a regular mom. Oh my gosh, so iconic. She has to share insecurities to fit in, which the only thing she could come up with was, I have bad breath in the morning. So we might put some details for each task or things that we want to do or subtasks within the notes as well. All right, so now we have notes. We've clarified anything we needed to in the task. We really want to make sure every piece of information necessary, especially if you have a lot of people collaborating. So for this, it's not that many people, but if you have a lot of people collaborating, that you are as clear as possible every step of the way. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna link the tasks that are associated to the project. So anything that we're doing that's related to a goal that we're trying to achieve, I'm gonna link them now. I'm just gonna drag this forward so we can see it. So cracking Gretchen by sending 3 strategic candygrams is to get rid of Regina's ignorant band of loyal followers. So now it's associated to it, so that's quite cool. Then next up we have listen and take notes while Gretchen spills the tea. That is to get rid of Regina's friends and also get rid of her man candy because we find out that she's cheating on him. By feeding her caltine bars, we're getting rid of her technically good physique. Get Aaron to catch Regina cheating on him. We're trying to get rid of Aaron as well. So now a fun thing you can do is set up a roll-up field in Notion that will calculate the progress to your goals based on the tasks associated with them and how many of them are actually completed. So let me just show you how that works. So if we just click this open, you'll first see that all the tasks associated with getting us to this goal are right here. We will add a property and it'll be a roll-up property. And we will pick the master to-do list as our relation. And then the property we want here is status. And we want it to show % per group complete, aka the percentage of completed tasks. So now we can decide to do a bar, which I quite like. Okay, now we have that set up. And now let's actually view it in the database. And then it will pop up here. You can see it's 0% done because we have not completed anything. But if we complete something here, so let's just pretend that we have cracked Gretchen, and let's update the status to completed, done. Then if we scroll back up, you'll see that here we're 25% of the way there to ruining her relationship with her friends. This is so mean, but there's a cool thing you can do. And you know what's super duper interesting? A bunch of these things that Katie does aren't actually tied back to the original goals at all. Like these things, starting to wear a little bit of makeup, gossip about Regina all the time, wear questionable perfume that Regina gives her. These are the things that actually begin straying her away from her true friends and truly becoming plastic. So there's a lesson in there somewhere about how things go wrong if your actions and tasks aren't aligned with your goals. We're so smart. Okay, so now this is looking better and better. Now next up, we will want to make sure that we have some sort of due dates. Again, like I mentioned, for this one, I'm just pulling things out from the movie that are date specific, like the Christmas performance, which I assume happens at Christmas, and the spring fling dance, which I also assume happens in spring. So I just roughly create some deadlines and timelines. Let's do that. So I just added in a few different dates just to show you the timeline view in Notion of what that could look like if you have dates for different parts of your project. So this is what it would look like. It would line it up and just show you what's going on when, so you have a good image of it. Okay, so now step 5 is to add owners. This one's really important for regular projects because if a task doesn't have an owner, it won't get done. My rule is that each task needs one owner, not somebody will probably end up doing it, and also not you 4 are in charge of this one singular task. It needs one owner for each task. So for this project, I think almost everything should be done by Katie, except I would say a few of them. So I'm just going to assign everything to Katie first, and then we will find the ones that aren't Katie's to-dos. Because, you know, Katie is the main character coincidentally, and she's the infiltrator, so she has to be responsible for most of these because she's the one gaining their trust. So find pink clothes. Damien is the supplier of the pink clothes, so let's remove Katie. So Damien's in charge of that, and actually Janice is the one who cuts holes in Regina's shirt, so we will remove that. But everything else, to my knowledge, is done by Katie. All right, so there you go. That is the mega plan. I still cannot believe I made this. I want to give a huge shout out to the woman who sat next to me at the coffee shop and totally saw me making this, but didn't voice any concerns or comments. I had a lot of fun making this. I hope it was fun to see the project planning in a fun use case, and I hope this showed you Notion in action a little and perhaps some features that could be cool for your next plan in Notion. I honestly want to do more of these types of videos and other project management tools and use other fun examples as well. So if you like this, smash that JK. Gently tap that like button with a lot of love and a lot of care to let me know, hey Deya, do more like this. Do more. If you've got an idea for what I should plan in the future, leave it below too. I'd love to see. And of course, as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.